So here I am underneath the truck. I'm noticing that one of the caps for the front U-joint is loose here. You can see that there was a bolt in it at some time. It's now out as well. Throw a little light on it here, maybe. It looks like this bolt has been moved at some time. Well, I don't know if you can see the blue mark, but there's a witness mark on the cap to show the position of the cap relative to the tie bar when the joint was removed. Now, if we spin the axle around to the other side, lo and behold, the same thing. A missing bolt, almost like the drive shaft was loosened up to take out or gain access for the oil pan removal that was done under warranty. So, you know, had this fallen out when four-wheel drive was engaged, that could have been a pretty serious problem. There is enough of a strap here to prevent a pogo stick, but it'd sure make a hell of a noise. Further to that, over here where the oil leak was initially reported, we see that there is still in fact oil leaking from the cap. So the initial diagnosis of a cracked oil pan at the flange gasket, which is what I was told, may not have been all of the problem, or may have been misdiagnosed. There's a bit of oil on the crossbar. The rest of it's pretty good. There's really nothing up around the starter. Nice and dry. No problems there. Oil pan gasket flange face. You can just see a corner of there. I don't know if I can get the light on it, the camera in the right spot. It looks dry and clean. Looks pretty good there. I wonder if they had to take the crossbar out to do the oil pan. Oh, I see they did here. We got broken undercoating here, as well as, oh, look at this, the crossbar is in a slightly different position than it was when it went in. You can see by the wear mark here and here. I wonder if this explains why my tires have started squealing. As well, we can see here that they dropped the bar out of here. They shouldn't have disturbed the alignment unless they loosened this. We'll have a look at that in a second. So I was just going to have another look at this before I move around, but neither of these bolts are tight. The strap won't move on there. And same with this one that's indexed. It's tight. I might be able to get a little bit of movement out of there, but that bolt is certainly tight. So on the second look here, I'm just looking at this. There's a scar right here. I don't know if you can see it, where the strap of the U-joint cap made contact with the oil adapter housing, oil filter adapter, and we got a bit of a leak there now. So that would have had to have come off when they did the oil pan housing. So it doesn't look like the lower control arm bolts had to move. There's a little bit of displacement here, but I think that's just from the flex and the bushing. You can see here that this cross member was removed to get the oil pan out, get clearance, which means they would have also had to well, either they took the sway bar out, dropped the oil pan out the back, or they took the right axle out, which they did. Here I can see that there's socket bolts here, socket marks on those fasteners, which means they dropped the axle, which would explain why the U-bolt caps are loose, because they had to drop the differential assembly from the front to get clearance to get the oil pan out. Oops, there, how about that? So I popped the inspection cover off, and back of the oil pan looks really dry. So I don't think the source of the oil is the rear main, but if you come around to the side, I don't know, it's kind of hard to get the camera in there, but you can see some tracing of an oil track right on line with the joint in the Taurus. So I'm thinking it's actually the converter leak, and it's spraying around the inside of the case and then dripping out. Now if we let's have a look inside here. It's actually reasonably dry. So it's dry there, or reasonably dry anyways. Where the hell is this oil coming from though? It could be just that flange right there on the oil filter housing. That joint right there. Geez, that's a real kicker, eh?